This is Sportscentre.
Hey, I'm Luca Celebra, and this is Digital Sportscentre presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. With the Stanley Cup handed out a couple nights ago, Larry O.B. could be handed out tonight in Indy. And the big story on everyone's mind is the health of Tyrese Haliburton. 2 days ago, it looked like he was a lock to be out, as he was reportedly undergoing an MRI for that right calf strain. Although he did say this after Game 5.
If I can, walk, then I want to play. So,
While Haliburton is officially listed as questionable, he's looking like a true game-time decision for tonight. With him and head coach Rick Carlisle both saying he will go through testing today and a decision will be made later this afternoon. But according to Shams, it sounds like Haliburton is fully intending to be on the court tonight.
Pat, Tyrese Haliburton, from my understanding, he has every intention of playing tonight.
Okay.
And unless the medical team sees him, so the Pacers have a walkthrough this afternoon. So approximately around 5 p.m. Eastern time, they're hopeful to know definitively whether Tyrese Haliburton should be able to play or not. Unless there's some kind of a setback there, if he shows some signs where the medical team has to come in and step in and say, listen, we can't throw you out there, but he's fully intending to be out there tonight.
All right, let's bring in our guy, Javon Shepard from the finals in Indy. Great to see you.
Good seeing you too, Luca.
As I just said, according to Carlisle, we won't know the status of Haliburton until closer to tip-off. Do you give Indy any shot without him?
Well, they're going to have to play with a ton of heart, but let's be real, it would be a tough hurdle to overcome because Tyrese Haliburton means so much to their offense. He's the driver. He has the keys. He's at the steering wheel, right? And he's also the engine. But I think for them, what makes it so tough is that they don't play a lot of one-on-one basketball. It's a lot of transition play. They play with pace, a lot of Tyrese Haliburton pick and rolls. And if he's unable to create an advantage with that first step, if he's unable to use his burst so that now you're playing 5-on-4 against Oklahoma's defense, then their offense really doesn't have a chance, right? But at this point in the season, everybody's banged up. Everybody's about 70-75% healthy. He has to actually be 80% healthy for his team to really have a chance in this one.
Okay, Javon, if SGA wins the title tonight, is he the greatest Canadian basketball player of all time?
I see what we're doing here, but you know what? This one goes without saying, and even Steve Nash has alluded to it himself. We're now talking about a guy that would have a MVP, but also a championship in the same year, so he won't only be the greatest Canadian to ever play, but now we're also talking about one of the greatest to ever play the point guard position, period, right? Because typically, bigs and wings win you championships. Those are your MVPs, but now Shea's paired it together in one season. So yes, big picture, we're not only talking about best Canadian ever, but we're also talking about one of the best at the point guard position to ever play.
Javon Shepard, a pleasure as always.
Thank you. You
can watch Game 6 between the Thunder and Pacers tonight on TSN at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific, with pregame going an hour before that.
Breaking news! The Edmonton Oilers had locker cleanout day today, and Connor McDavid addressed his future as an Oiler.
As you said, yeah, it's only been a couple days since the season ended. Take some time to regroup. Talk to my agent a little bit and family and all that, and make some decisions whenever that time comes. But there's no rush on anything like that.
Time now for the Big Play Replay presented by Montana's Barbecue and Bar. Let's go to Atlanta. Chris Sale battling and doing whatever it takes to stay in for the complete game shutout.
Weak grounder. What an effort by Sale! Oh my! Athlete, baby.
That was awesome.
Do you think he wants this complete game?
Pretty sure he made that play and looked right at Snitz. Yeah. Remember the Mike Messina video?
Yeah.
At this point where the Braves are in the standings and Chris Sale's Hall of Fame resume, he doesn't need to be doing this, but you love to see it. Now joined by our gambling guy, Wes Cheng, to talk more Game 6. Great to see you, Wes.
Great to see you, Luca.
Okay, Wes, we still don't know the status of Hallie. As it stands right now, does anything jump out to you prop-wise? Either his absence or presence would affect.
Whether Tyrese plays or not, you have to assume that he's not going to be 100%. And so with that in mind, I like Pascal Siakam to go over his scoring prop. This is a guy who's been their most consistent performer during these finals. He leads them in scoring during the regular season, postseason, during the finals. He's ultimately their leader, the only guy on the team with any actual championship experience. And then you have to remember this game 6, it's an elimination game for Indiana. So they're going to put everything on the line. They're going to play to the very last whistle. Siakam's the kind of guy I think that's going to play with that level of desperation, having gone through it. And even in a loss, I think he's very capable of hitting this number.
Okay, give us a best bet for tonight's game.
I like SGA to get 1 steal and 1 block. We all know about his offense. That's obviously how they've gotten here. But on the defensive end, he's not getting enough credit for what he's doing. He leads all players in total stocks throughout the finals. Now, I'm not saying he's a better defender than Caruso, than Dort, or J-Dub, but Indiana has been trying to tire him out, getting him into every single action defensively, mismatches in the post, getting him to guard the pick and roll handler. What that does, it just puts him in more situations where he can pick up steals and blocks, and he's been doing that consistently. Last week, we gave out 2 steals with a similar concept. Unfortunately, he got 3 blocks, 0 steals. So let's flatten it out a little bit. Let's give him 1 steal, 1 block, and hopefully he can bring it home.
Wes Cheng, a pleasure as always.
Thanks for having me.
You can watch Game 6 between the Thunder and Pacers tonight on TSN at 8:30 Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. Time now for the mic drop moment presented by the all-new Lincoln Navigator. And let's give the mic drop moment to the fans of the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, who had a special thank you to the team that traded them Brad Marchand.
Thank you, Boston! Thank you, Boston! Thank you, Boston!
Ultimate trade of all time. That's going to go down as like one of the best of all time. You got him for peanuts. He's a career Bruin. The first year he leaves, he wins a cup with Florida. He could go back to Boston. It doesn't even matter what he does now. That's just like the greatest trade of all time, maybe. And just a reminder to tune into the Navigator Cup on TSN on July 1st, immediately following Free Agent Frenzy. Duthie versus O-Dog. I don't know which way I'm leaning early in this, but I know for a fact there's just going to be a ton of chirping. These guys are going to eviscerate each other on the golf course. Week 3 of the CFL kicks off tonight in Edmonton as the Elks host the Alouettes. And this matchup just so happens to be the biggest spread of the week. The undefeated Owls are almost a full touchdown favorite against the Elks, and for good reason. Montreal's allowed a total of just 28 points this season, and they've scored more than 25 in both of their wins. Edmonton's defense allowed 324 passing yards in their season-opening loss, so stacking some bets on Montreal's wideouts could be a really good play. Austin Mack, Tyler Snead, and Tyson Philpott all rank in the top 20 in receiving yards this season. On the Edmonton side of the matchup, the Elks haven't scored a touchdown yet that wasn't a QB sneak. And Trey Ford passed for under 200 yards in their loss to BC. Is this the bounce back week? I don't know, but if I'm a betting man, probably taking the Alouettes. And you can watch this game tonight on TSN at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. That's all for today. We'll be right back here tomorrow at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific. Have a great day.